Safe Humanity Advocacy Center has drawn attention of foreign missions to plots by members of the indigenous people of Biafra and their cohorts to blackmail the immediate past service chiefs. According to the group, the proscribed group and their NGO members, through their petition, aims to critically malign the country's former military heads and ultimately scuttle their imminent confirmation as ambassadors. The SHAC raised this alarm on Monday at a press conference in Abuja. In his address, Comrade Ogbe Owoicho, Director of Foreign Affairs, said the petition has all the handwritings of the Eastern Nigeria's Rights and Intelligentsia Coalition. Owoicho noted that it is laughable that the petitioners called for a diplomatic community to disqualify the former service chiefs over falsehood. While disclosing that such is the responsibility of the Senate, Comrade Owoicho called on these foreign nations to disregard the rants contained in letters that were delivered to embarrass their diplomatic missions. He noted that it is pertinent that the nation profess themselves as friends of Nigeria immediately to put this coalition in its place. Well, isn't that manipulative as well? Aren't you doing the same thing that you're accusing the Eastern Coalition of doing as well? So you're basically saying that for these countries to prove that they are allies of Nigeria, they should basically shut down the Eastern people's right and their concerns. Okay. The group, however, urged the federal government to note that complacency is no longer an option in the view of the repeated diplomatic salvos that the Eastern Nigerians' Rights and Intelligentsia Coalition has fired against the country. To avoid future occurrence, it further called on Nigerian authorities to slam the groups in the coalition and the people behind them. Just go straight to the point and just say that at this point it's embarrassing. Well, the first comment here says Mr. Ogbe Owoicho and his cohorts are serious disappointments to his generation. How can a group of idiots stand to defend the atrocities indicted on the people of Nigeria by BURATAI and his cohorts? They were okay. It continues. Where were they when BURATAI and his cohorts were slaughtering unarmed Nigerians, even going to churches, and were they praying, having their fellowship to kill them? By defending BURATAI and his evil colleagues, Ogbe Owoicho and his cohorts have shown that they love evil and will not depart from their various individual families. All the tribulations and anguish being experienced by those families that lost their children and relatives will be revisited by Ogbe Owoicho and his partners in crime in the name of Jesus. Okay, this person was really, really angry. Someone says, may Boko Haram and Fulani headsmen invade Ogbe Owoicho's home in Jesus' name. Amen. And a lot of people replied, saying amen too. Someone says, these Benin people are among the most useless people in Nigeria, always ready to serve the Fulani people. Do you think that the innocent blood does not speak? Go and ask Ahab and his wife Jezebel. It's just a matter of time. If you like, speak all the grammar to blackmail IPOB. The truth may seem to have died, but after 3 days it will resurrect, demanding for the unavailable justice. Just watch out. It is at this point we can't be surprised that again IPOB is such a strong influence in Nigeria that again the government is very, very threatened, and it's very obvious to see when the government is meant to be, focusing on real issues that are actually affecting Nigerians. They just always try to link it back to IPOB and all that. So it just is what it is at this point. It is obviously a shame because again, it's very clear that the government is very threatened of Biafra. It is very they know that Biafrans are a sort of people who are the most aware, who are the most observant, and they understand the activities of the country. They understand why Nigeria is what it is today. They understand how they got here. They basically see through the BS of the government. And I'd say that, at this point, they're the most organized, they're the most united, they know what they're doing. They've really got their ish together. And whether you agree or not with them, they have every right to voice their opinion, and they've never been destructible. And so, no matter how many, plans or vices that the government has to break these people down, it has never really worked anyway. And so it shows you the power that Biafrans have just by their presence when you see the government basically deflecting and trying to change the perception or change the public sway of opinion on Biafrans, trying to blame random, inexcusable actions on them, and it's just like they're just not related. And so yes, the extent in which the country, basically the government, would go to basically blame Biafrans for their for their transgressions, actually for their transgressions, is it's laughable, appalling. But then it shows that this government is not focused, and they are really focused on oppression, because again, the Igbos are not going to allow themselves to be oppressed. They are very aware of what is going on. And so yeah, so I guess it really does show the power that they have. And maybe Biafrans, they just know what they're doing at this point. And yeah, it just is what it is. Are we surprised? No. At this point, we just got to be aware that, and be realistic. Will Nigeria be one Nigeria, or will we have to separate? Separation does not always mean a bad thing. It's better to be enemies individually on our own than enemies within as one Nigeria. Like, the conflict of interest is just too much. Difference in ideologies, it's just very, very complicated, and it's unnecessary because the complication is not even meant to exist. Again, it all goes back to colonization and goes back to those times. People are tired of hearing it, but it is very, very true. It is basically the genesis as to why we do not get along, because we do not get along. It's as simple as that. And again, it's obviously a shame. I think right now, innocent Fulani children, house children, they're just on the street basically scared for their lives, and they don't deserve it. Again, it's sad, because then their population is just so much in the northern part of the country. It's sad. It's all a sad thing. But again, maybe Nigerians will have to wake up and be like, this one Nigeria, is it likely that we're gonna achieve it? Highly unlikely. And honestly, it is what it is. It is not a bad thing. It isn't a bad thing. I think that at this point, separating is probably the best thing. It is most likely the best thing that's gonna happen. Something magical, something divine, something special, too special will have to happen for Nigerians to be like, nope, we want one Nigeria, and we actually forge ahead with that plan and with that ideology in mind. But realistically, will that happen? No. But again, it just shows that Biafrans are going strong. They're doing their thing, and they've got a leader who is very vocal. They are a united people. They hold their history very, very seriously. Their sense of identity is very solid. So yeah, you can't really face these people. So yeah, what do you think about the Safe Humanity Advocacy Center trying to blackmail other countries to side with Nigeria and lay accusations on IPOB? What do you think about it? Put what you think, and do not forget to like and subscribe.